$1,400 fourth stimulus check, specifically focused on low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries of Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. Where do we currently stand, and is Congress trying to pull a fast one on us? Let's get into it and talk through all the details. But really quickly, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm here for you every single day with all of the latest updates and talking through all of these very important topics as your one and only daily advocate and maintaining my commitment to you and this community as a whole, which is to be here for you every single day to help you out in any way that I possibly can. So again, thank you so much for your support. Subscribe down below and let's get into this right away. All right, so the $1,400 stimulus check. Let's back up for just a minute to better understand one of the ways that the $1,400 stimulus check was actually originally introduced and where we currently stand. It's all going to blend together and it's all going to make sense why we're talking about this. So back in early September, actually it was just after Labor Day, the Senior Citizens League, which is a big, powerful advocacy group, sent out a petition calling on people to support the movement toward a $1,400 stimulus check that is specifically focused on Social Security beneficiaries and for seniors. Now, that is what the Senior Citizens League actually advocates for. So it's a big, powerful advocacy group, like I said, and it was really good to see that they sent out this petition, gathering signatures, working on what they could possibly do to get a focused $1,400 stimulus check for all of these low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries, which encompasses about 70 million beneficiaries, according to their petition. So through the entire month of September, they gathered signatures on their petition. I saw a number of different reports saying they gathered over 1 million signatures during that amount of time. So amazing, seriously. To gather that many signatures in that short period of time is actually really impressive. I mean, seriously, that's very, very impressive. Now, here's the thing. In early October, they actually presented their petition along with a letter drafted and sent it over to every member of Congress. So that's a lot of people, hundreds of people that they sent this petition over to in Congress. Between the House of Representatives and the Senate, they sent their letter over and calling on Congress to issue this $1,400 stimulus check for all of these millions of people, about 70 million people. By the way, I ran the numbers on that. To issue a $1,400 stimulus check for about 70 million people would only cost $98 billion. To put it in perspective, there are literally people walking around Earth right now, multiple people, who could literally write a check for $98 billion. My point is, it's not that much money, especially when it comes to the federal government and the amount of money that they spend at any given time. $98 billion is not that much money. Seriously, it is not. In the eyes of the federal government, it is not much. It's peanuts, many people would say, right? So yeah, it's not much. Even though for us as individuals, it's a massive amount of money. I mean, any of us would be very happy with $98 billion. I think we could probably make it. I suppose we could probably make it on $98 billion. I guess we could. Might be a little rough, but I'm just kidding, by the way. Yeah, it's a massive amount of money for us as individuals. But my point is, it would not cost that much money, less than $100 billion to get the job done. So after the Senior Citizens League reached out to Congress with their letter, we've kind of been waiting on an official response from Congress. You know, you would think that they would, I don't know, offer some kind of response to it or offer some kind of correspondence, some kind of something to let us know that they received the letter. And yes, thank you so much for the suggestions. We really do appreciate it. But Congress has been pretty quiet. And the reason for that is they've been preoccupied on many of their other projects and things that have been going on in Congress. So most of which has been this massive stimulus package that they've been working on for many, many months and haven't really been making a whole lot of progress with. That's one thing they've been working on, as well as the infrastructure package, as well as a variety of other things that they've had going on. Okay, but what actually are they doing with this $1,400 stimulus check? Well, as of right now, they haven't really done a whole lot with it. But does that mean it's not coming at all? No, not necessarily. In fact, just because they haven't really made any response to it simply means that they're working on other things at the moment, right? Well, of course, they're working on other things. But just because they haven't added it technically into the stimulus package, or they haven't given some type of official formal response about the $1,400 stimulus check, does not mean that it may not still come. Now, here's the thing. Let me give you a quick example. Just because we think it should be added into the stimulus package, which it'd be an easy, quick way for them to do it. Well, let's be real. Would it really be quick? Because at the rate that they're moving on stimulus packages lately, it maybe not be the quickest thing in the world. However, remember back to late 2020, there was something called the Cash Act. Do you remember that? It was actually drafted. It was about a one-page piece of legislation. It was very, very short. It was the Cash Act, and basically what they did is they wrote it up and said, let's change the stimulus check back in late 2020 from $600 up to $2,000. That's exactly what they said. It was like less than a page. It was not very long at all. It was called the Cash Act, if you want to look it up. But anyway, my point is that was going to be a standalone little piece of legislation that they were going to add in addition to the stimulus package that was working through Congress at that time. So my point is, even if it doesn't come in a stimulus package, Congress could literally write up the legislation in a page or two at the very most and say a $1,400 stimulus check specifically focused on Social Security, seniors, SSDI, retirement, survivors, SSI, VA, whatever they wanted to include within it, they could literally write it up in one page of legislation and get it passed as its own standalone bill if they just so wanted to do so. Not only that, the president has already alluded to additional stimulus packages coming after this one. So he's already made it very clear that after this stimulus package, that they're planning on coming back and picking up the pieces on any provisions that they don't get in this stimulus package. They've already talked about coming back and getting those in a separate one shortly thereafter. So we already know the president has indicated more packages will be coming. Now, we would have to anticipate that those will be coming prior to the midterm elections coming in late 2022. The reason for that is they will likely need to do this next package through reconciliation once again. Therefore, during that time, they could just add right back into it a stimulus check, maybe multiple stimulus checks, maybe guaranteed basic income, maybe UBI, universal basic income, maybe a one-time check, maybe who knows what. I mean, literally, it's all up in the air. Possible at this point. So all we need to continue doing is literally just continue watching this very, very closely and see if Congress actually comes out and maybe gives us some kind of formal response on these letters that the Senior Citizens League has reached out to them with, and or if they give us any kind of response to the letters that I've been sending, right? I mean, if you've been watching for a while now, you know that I've sent a number of different letters over to Congress calling on them to do essentially the exact same thing. A $1,400 stimulus check, a $2,000 stimulus check, permanent raises to benefits, whatever we can urge them to do. Ultimately, we don't really care how it comes or what the name is that they do it with, but we just want them to issue additional money to the people right now, especially low income and fixed income beneficiaries like what we've been talking about throughout this video. So yeah, I know, it gets to be a little bit of a frustrating situation as it seems so obvious what needs to be done right now as people are really struggling. We're getting into the time of year where it's cold, right? It's going to cost more to heat homes. Prices of energy are going up. Actually, about, maybe a month ago, I was out with a report talking about energy prices surging for through the winter months and to heat homes. Natural gas is going to be up like 30%. Propane is up something like, 54%, I think it was? Yeah, it's up a ton. Electricity is up 6%. So my point is, going into even this time of the year, and with the supply chain issues and inflation running hot right now, I mean, seriously, it's just like time after time after time, everything continues to add up. And it just seems like it's so obvious what Congress should be doing right now. At a minimum, literally at a minimum, it's getting to be at the point where they would at a minimum send out a $1,400 stimulus check. More like a $2,000 would be much better. And realistically, ongoing at this point is probably going to be what is going to be necessary to get out of this mess that everybody is in right now because of everything going on right now. So kind of an interesting situation, but it's interesting how Congress has apparently just like purposely avoided responding to that letter out of the Senior Citizens League. But at the same time, I get it. They have been pretty busy with the stimulus package and everything else going on. So maybe they will actually make some type of a formal response, and or maybe they're still working on something behind the scenes that maybe we just don't know about yet. Again, we have no clue. But when it comes to a fourth stimulus check, they could always pass it as its own standalone bill. Just remember that. So even if it's not in the stimulus package, it could still come literally at any given point. They could do that. And now when it comes to issuing a focused stimulus check for all of these fixed income beneficiaries, this would not be the first time they did it. In fact, they did it way back in May of 2009. They issued a standalone, focused stimulus check for fixed income beneficiaries. Back then, it was $250. Well, that's not very much, right? But we would certainly be going for a lot more than that. But either way, my point is they have done it before where they've sent out a focused stimulus check on the fixed income beneficiaries. So it can absolutely be done once again. Anyway, I wanted to give you a quick update on this, let you know what's going on with this, where we currently stand, where we're headed with all this, what's going on with Congress, where we stand with the fourth stimulus check, the $1,400, what is going on with all this. So I hope this helps you out to some degree. I know I continue to see a lot of comments down below, many of you reaching out asking what's going on with this. So wanted to give you this update. So again, make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so. Share this video or any others here on the channel with your friends, family, and social media. And I'll continue to be here for you every single day to help out in any way that I can. Enjoy. Thanks again for your support.